Hello everyone, in this video I am going to be as authentic as I have ever been. I was asked a question about how I deal with having a son who's gay. And I feel like this is something that I always wanted to share because I feel like a lot of mothers, especially Black mothers or Black parents, have to experience this, especially in this day and age. More people are coming out about their sexuality. It's about time that I share my experience and how I've dealt with it, how I'm dealing with it, and my opinion on it.
My deepest apologies. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm your future and your prophecy. Navigate the way to the top, girl, just follow me. I love playing Monopoly. Your body is my property. Your mind is my motivation. Play your cards right, you get the whole world out of me.
Alright guys, so let's get right to it. When I first found out that my son was gay, that was honestly since he was born. Like my son, I mean, not the sexual aspect of it, but I knew that my son was a lot more feminine than what the world says a boy should be. Since he was younger, my son has always, gravitated towards his aunt, other little girls. He's always been more sensitive. When he was younger, I tried to get him to do Little League football and he just wasn't having it. He did finish up the year. Like my son is very athletic, so he did finish up the year. He actually won some trophies, but even then I still seen that it wasn't him, growing up in the time that I grew up and being from Buffalo, New York, it wasn't as accepted as it is today in 2019. You did not see, especially when it comes to men. Now, of course, with women, everybody like to see, two beautiful women fantasizing about each other and playing with each other. But when it came to men and boys, we always have this thing where we just have to keep our men manly and strong, and they have to fit this particular box of what a man should be. I was 17 when I had my son, and I tried to force SpongeBob on him and monster trucks and, boy clothes, and it just was not him. And so as he got older, I noticed that, maybe around 8th grade, 9th grade, he was always, cool when he was around his friends and his teachers. But when it came to me, even my mother, like he would go to my mother's house and he would just be himself. But then when he would come home, it's like he would be more reserved. He would stay in the room. And at the time I was dating my youngest son's father, and he would try to take them fishing and do basketball games and, again, the football, Little League football, stuff like that. And it's just that my son was miserable. And, I even had an ex that would tell me the reason why he's acting like this so girly is because I allow him to watch the show The Nanny, or he's always around me and my girlfriends. And, and I was really confused because at the time I was still religious. I was a Christian woman, and I just really didn't know. So I was kind of embarrassed. I would always try to hide who my son was, or, yell at him and say, don't dress like that. Stop walking like that. Stop talking like that. Stop twisting your neck. And this has been since he was a little boy, and I really started to see my son close himself off from me. Like he would stay in the room all the time. He was just super excited all the time when it was time to go to school. And as a mother, that you felt when your child wasn't happy. And so what it took for me, I had to separate from the relationship that I was in, and I got my own place, and I just started to spend more time with him and talk to him, even though at that time I was still, he was probably like 10, 11. Now my youngest son is born, and, he kind of was a preteen, but he was always intelligent. My son is super, super, super intelligent. Like, let me tell you, I'll get to that later on, but he was just closed off. So I started to communicate with him. Now that there was no man in the home, I was able to really just see him for who he was. He would start to sit up front with us and, watch movies with us. I seen my son kind of come out of his shell because now he can be himself a little bit more. It still wasn't until the show Empire came out. And, with the whole Cookie and Jamal situation, how Lucius used to take him and try to throw him in a garbage can. And I just kind of felt bad as a parent because I don't want to be that parent. Like, my son's father is not in his life. And I don't want my son to feel like he don't have anywhere to go. I should be his comfort place. I should be the one who loves him above anybody else. And although I loved him, I didn't understand my son. I didn't understand the whole situation. It's how the world is with women. And, it was okay to have girls who play with girls, or even me, I've had my experiences with women, I can't say that it was full-fledged on gay, but I can say that I've had those experiences, and I understood that a lot more. I did not understand my son. I didn't understand it. And, you got the Bible telling you, that it's forbidden and it's an abomination. And I'm just like, how can I look at my child for who he loves or just who he is? This is just natural him. Let's take sex out of the equation because my son is still a virgin. He's not, a sexual active child, or in this case, he's 18, a sexually active man at this point. But growing up, he was always who he was, which was more feminine. And he still recognizes himself as a man, but he's always been more into girly things. And one day I just asked him, I said, Jamel, are you gay? And he was like, I guess. And, I don't think any straight man would come out and say he guessed. So at that point, I realized, okay, this is who my son is, and I need to accept and love him for who he is. I need to find out what's going on in his life because still as a mother, I have to protect him. There's a lot of situations out there where you have men who aren't comfortable who they are, and they may sleep with these boys or these men who are, new into the scene, or, they don't know. Just like older men do with younger girls. They'll come in, they'll manipulate them, and they'll use them for their own selfish benefits, and then they beat on them because they can't accept who they are. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that I'm like, okay, I have to come into my son's world. I have to learn who he is. I have to learn his friends. I have to accept who he is so that my son can be open enough to talk to me so that I can do my job as to protect him and guide him in the right way. Is this something that I really had to deal with? Is this something that I really, like my son, when I tell you he's a straight A student, he has normal teenage issues like, talking back sometimes or not cleaning up. But outside of that, I don't deal with my son in the streets. My son is mostly home or in school. He's in almost every program you can think of in the school. And actually this year, he was the first male in his high school to cheer. And you know what I mean? Like my son wins so many awards when I'm at his school and they say his name. Everybody is just screaming. They love my son. And so it just really makes me proud. And I'm happy. I'm proud of myself for not waiting too long to accept my son and to love my son. And once I kind of left religion, because I even did the Islam phase, and, even then it's an abomination. In certain countries that you go to, they will kill your child, or they will kill people who have these feelings or who are just being who they are. And so I had to say, you know what? I need to love my child. If I don't love him, who else will? And regardless of what he chooses to do, and that's like, I don't care. Whoever you choose to love, whatever you choose to do, I'm with you. Now, unless you out killing people and all that, because you know better. I taught you better. When it comes to his sexuality or who he loves, I'm going to be right there with him. I'm going to love whoever he loves, and I'm going to be the good mom that I know I can be. Now, I do want to remind everyone that this is a very sensitive topic. There's lots of children, lots of people out here in this world who are unhappy with who they are. It's a lot of people that are killing themselves. So I need for us as human beings to just learn to love each other, put love above everything else. Whatever it is you think, you feel, and I know that a lot of people are dealing with stuff like this because of the way they were brought up in their religious lives, or the way that their parents have taught them to believe, or just the way society have taught you guys to believe, or all of us for that matter. So this is a very sensitive subject. I encourage anyone who is dealing with this situation, you don't know how to deal with it, you can always make sure you hit me up. You can email me at bedivineminded@gmail.com, and I'll converse with you and let you know how I dealt with certain issues. Of course, this is just a basic overview of what happened and how I've dealt with it, how I found out. But yeah, it does get deep. And, a lot of people are really struggling with it, and they're pushing their children away. And, their children, you're putting them out here into the society unhappy and miserable and hating themselves. And it can really cause destruction to your child as well as the world. So, I do encourage anyone dealing with this, if you can't or you don't know how to deal with it, to please seek counseling. Talk to someone who's been there. A lot of times I would meet gay men and I would ask them how did they deal with it with their parents, when they were younger. And, I just feel like just having this discussion is very important, because you do not want to have your child feeling unloved, okay? If you want to talk about my experiences, just leave a comment below. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I talk about a lot of things that I go through in my life. I am a single mother. I'm a nurse. I've dealt with, alcoholic parent. I've been through a lot, and just my growth, my spiritual growth, my journey, just everything. I'm going to be more authentic on this channel. I do believe that, we all can learn from each other and grow from each other. And please leave any negative comments about my son and what you think I should do or anything. Just please, because you will be blocked. Okay? So I love you all. Make sure to subscribe, bedivineminded.com, if you want to check out my website. I also do traveling blogs, and, I travel around the world, and I just experience new cultures, and that's what life is about, spirituality and loving and just experiencing. So I hope you all like this video, and stay tuned. There'll be more content coming soon.